Welcome to mutantbass.com, featuring Busting Beyond Habitual Hearing. We're going to go in the studio in just a little bit, and I'm going to share with you some concepts to help expand your perception of hearing. Do you have a limited perception? A few years ago, I noticed a common phenomenon among many of my beginner and intermediate students. When my students listened to melodic and harmonic intervals in an isolated manner, they were easily able to accurately distinguish the interval that was being played. However, when the same intervals were being played in the context of a musical situation, their ears seemed to fail them. Minor thirds sounded like major thirds, perfect fourths sounded like perfect fifths, and minor seconds sounded like major seconds. I'd like to introduce the concept of vertical and horizontal hearing. Vertical hearing concerns itself with hearing things as they are. This chord is perceived as some sort of F chord. More information can also be perceived, such as the voicing, root 5/9, even the chord quality. This is an F9 chord, and perhaps more. Horizontal hearing concerns itself with context. What was played before this F9 chord? What is being played during this F9 chord? What is going to follow this F9 chord? What is this chord functioning as? And perhaps more. The phenomenon I described earlier suggests a dominant and habitual vertical type of hearing. These particular students have become accustomed to hearing intervals in only one way. By simply exploring the possibilities of horizontal hearing, one can dramatically improve their ear's awareness, even during unique musical situations. Let's focus our attention to a simple minor third interval, C and A. When hearing these notes descending, we may habitually perceive this minor third interval as a flat 3 resolving to a root. In this case, the interval would serve in the context of some sort of A minor chord. When hearing these notes ascending, we may also habitually perceive this minor third interval as a 13 resolving to a root. In this case, the interval would serve in the context of some sort of C major chord. Although there is nothing wrong with this perception, we can avoid habitual hearing by introducing this interval to different musical contexts. This practice will naturally expand our perception of hearing, and our ear will soon begin to recognize intervals in isolated situations as well as musical situations. So we want to explore different musical contexts. Okay. An easy way to change the context of an interval is to change the perception of its roots. Explore what happens if the same minor third interval, C and A, is now played over a B-flat root. Doing so, we can train our ears to recognize this particular sound. In this case, the interval will serve in the context of some sort of B-flat major 9 chord. Also explore other possibilities such as a B-flat minor major chord. happens if the same minor third interval, C and A, is now played over a B root? Doing so, we can train our ears to recognize this particular sound. In this case, this interval will serve in the context of some sort of B7 flat 9 chord. Also explore other possibilities, such as a B minor 7 flat 9 chord. Explore what happens if the same minor third interval, C and A, is now played over an E root. Doing so, we can train our ears to recognize this particular sound. In this case, this interval would serve in the context of some sort of E minor chord. You can also explore other possibilities, such as an E sus flat 13 chord, contextual possibilities are endless. This practice will develop your perception of hearing, and soon you will be able to hear and recognize intervals in an isolated manner, as well as musical situations. Till next time, mutantbass.com.